Welcome to another broadcast of the Infidel, the news for all of us who have supposedly chosen hell over heaven, the news for the damned. Has Rick Santorum hit a wall? In what was perhaps an inevitable turn of events, Rick Santorum has finally met an adequate opposition to his firm stance against gay marriage. Santorum has been strongly anti-gay throughout his entire political career, purporting that the definition of marriage is a part of the freedom of religion. Though past protests against him have been potent themselves, from astute political commentary to derogatory web pages, the latest backlash has perhaps seen the most attention yet. The candidate was hit hard in this last week by a relatively new form of protest, glitter bombing, in which protesters showered him with glitter during several of his public events. Santorum responded by saying on Fox News that the protesters were intolerant and were members of the radical left wing. Despite the effectiveness of this form of protest at drawing attention to Santorum and his policies, he himself remains unshaken in his convictions against homosexuals and against what he calls the radical left wing. Do you need rational thought to believe in evolution? A recent study suggests that belief in evolution might not always be the result of rational thought. Instead, it found that of the 124 Korean teachers that were interviewed, there was a much stronger correlation between intuition or gut feeling and belief. This was true of those who believed and disbelieved in evolution. The study was conducted by interviewing the soon-to-be teachers at different stages in their preparation program, in regards to what their beliefs were about evolution and how strongly they believed them. Though the procedure was not yet been replicated by other sources, if confirmed, it would pose some important implications. Namely, the results would mean that the human mind is biased to believe not in what it is told or what it can rationalize, but instead what seems more intrinsically true. This, of course, would go against both the creationist belief that faith motivates belief and the general evolutionist view that evidence and logic do. The Islamic Brotherhood controls the Egyptian parliament. As the aftermath of Egypt's revolution continues to unfold, the Islamic Brotherhood finds itself in a delicate situation with the parliament it now dominates. It has come to the decision that its main focus is to be improving the ailing economy of the nation and that it will not immediately implement Sharia law. Despite the Brotherhood's decreased pressure on its religious agenda, uncertainty still remains as to how the Brotherhood and the country's leadership as a whole will govern over women and minorities. The final resolution on these matters will most likely be determined in 6 months, when the military has agreed to step down from the government. This will leave the country to be led by an entirely civilian-elected president and the parliament, which now consists largely of members from different radical Muslim groups. Sexual harassment complaints lead to terrorism charges. Balayla Ahmed, a Muslim woman and former University of Bridgeport student, filed a federal lawsuit against the university for showing deliberate indifference in response to her repeated complaints of sexual harassment from a Bridgeport student. After making a report to the university president, who claimed his hands were tied, Mrs. Ahmed was approached by 2 guards who told her she was accused of being a terrorist and threatened to have her arrested. The FBI investigation revealed that her alleged harasser had made up the charges. The FBI found no wrongdoing on her part. While the woman was being investigated for the terrorism allegations, she said she was told by the university that her harassment complaint was closed and a university disciplinary committee dismissed her from her studies. The university has refused to comment. That's all the news for today. Come back to us on Wednesday for more news for the damned.